3. Exploitation. The bourgeoisie and the exploited. The son-in-law had simply abandoned his wife and children in favor of a stunning nymph from the land of smiles, many years younger than himself. The wife, that is, the mother-in-law's daughter, had discovered that something was amiss during the New Year's party that year. Everything was so strange. He had promised to organize a big family party. He was the one who could do such things. New Year's was usually celebrated with pomp and circumstance, with champagne and booze well into the new year. He was the party boss himself, and great expectations characterized all those invited. People flocked, neighbors, friends and family, and a lot of others flocked. This time, everything that happened was duplicated on the big screen with features from all corners of the world. The celebration in Sydney, then Tokyo and on to the Middle East and Europe were just as natural as the more local celebrations. Everything was duly covered via the big screen. Why this particular year was going to be so special was because the son-in-law was nowhere to be seen. The stage curtain opened. Everyone would soon see, hear and understand it all. The successful family in their midst would explode in the starburst of New Year's rockets. After many years as a good spouse, good job, well paid, high reputation both at home and in the big world. Caring and kind, sometimes strict, but usually the best for the family, yes, simply the perfect husband and son-in-law. Now it hit. The neighbor fired off an enormous New Year's salvo. The entire eastern sky lit up. Everything caught on the big screen. In a nanosecond of a blink, the image flashes up. Only a few see it at first glance. But it appears again. This time it lasts a few nanoseconds longer. Not many get it. Our consciousness is usually slow in relation to sensory impressions with extremely short duration. But the image appeared again. Somewhat longer. And again? Now it almost seemed like it was pulsing at regular intervals. Eventually it stands as a still image and everyone sees it. Clearly. It comes as a complete surprise to all the guests. Yes, it's the perfect son-in-law in full armor with his Japanese princess far younger than himself. Yes. It was easy to speculate about the big age difference. She didn't look a day older than his own daughters. She was smiling from ear to ear, had obviously found her dream prince. Not only was the age difference striking, but the size between them was significant. This was downright scandalous. Some huffed and looked away, others grimaced and rolled their eyes. The mother-in-law immediately had major problems with her metabolism. Some thought they should call the police. The big screen went out, or was turned off. The party was over. It was time to go home. Sleep off the horrible intoxication from champagne and shocking images. After a few days, people woke up from the nightmare and asked themselves, what has really happened here? This is so completely against all norms. It simply does not match our cognitive norms. The betrayal was experienced formidable from the mother-in-law and her daughter's side. The leader of the housing association called an emergency meeting, and there have never been more people at such meetings. She started by offering her condolences to the family that was affected. She eventually became emotional, tore her hair and sobbed, unable to believe that this prominent family man had caused everyone such grief. Then suddenly a handsome man jumped up on the back bench. Clearly speechless. Everyone turned around, almost to welcome a miracle. The handsome man opened with a clear, "Listen here," in excited anticipation. The assembly could join in on a very different story. It eventually turned out, when the truth gradually came to light, that the son-in-law was being grossly exploited by his immediate family. Often such abuses are ignored because they fit into what we consider to be virtuous behavior. That a person is stretched in all directions, completely insanely thinned and must fulfill high and low has become a matter of course for some. This very benevolent son-in-law had been precisely this elastic band that can be stretched in all directions without interruption for a long time. At the risk of tearing himself to shreds, he had been careful and fastened his seatbelt on the plane to Tokyo on a previous business trip. He had naturally done thorough preparation and made contact with this beautiful Japanese princess. During a few hectic days of preparation during the Christmas weekend, he had managed the masterpiece of disappearing for a couple of days. The timing was precise down to every millisecond. He reached his princess on New Year's Eve, early in the morning. Everything was perfectly synchronized, and they were married promptly after a couple of hours of passionate embrace and a magnificent performance of the wedding ceremony, yes, in advance. But it was a virtue of necessity in this highly dramatic situation. The Japanese telecommunications company Yuakuzi Ota had lined up for live broadcast, and the newlywed couple were there precisely when the New Year's fireworks lit up the night sky in Sydney. Everything was ready and set in the Yuakuzi Ota studio. The clock was ticking towards